Welcome into the second Cowboys Report video of the day. I am Tom Downey. This one made possible by Roan. I'm rocking one of their polos. We'll tell you all about them later on in today's show, but get 20% off by using promo code CHATSPORTS over at roan.com/chatsports. Here's what's on tap for the number 2 video of the day. Jaire Alexander trade rumors. He has ties to this organization after all. The idea of signing Devin White, I have a very strong take on that. Al Harris, a potential candidate for the Packers defensive coordinator job, and a Mike Evans at the Cowboys Report. Yeah, stay tuned for that one. Before we get to all of that, we are losing the sub battle this month against the 49ers. Now, it's not fair. They've got extra playoff games, and those lead to great subs, but we need to find a way to overcome that. Get more free Dallas Cowboys YouTube videos, not just once per day, but it's going to be damn near twice per day in the offseason. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button for me right now. Let's begin with Jaire Alexander and the trade rumors suddenly emerging around him. He made a rather cryptic Instagram post, as corners and receivers often sometimes do, seemingly saying goodbye to Green Bay. This was the Instagram post saying, "Thank you, God. Thank you, Lambeau. For 6 years, thank you to those who showed love throughout my journey." That does not sound like someone who's like, gonna see you guys next year. Now, I will make note. Alexander is kind of wired weirdly, maybe. This is the same guy who got suspended because he went rogue and went out for the coin toss this year and almost got it wrong. And the ref was like, "Are you sure about that?" And they kind of like, no, we're doing this. And kind of bailed him out there. Got suspended for that, which does void some guarantees, by the way, which we'll come back to here later on, potentially, if they want to go after the money, which most teams don't like doing because it causes issues short-term, long-term. He's a big trash talker. He's got the I'm a crazy person energy, which is what you typically actually want out of your corner. The you can't beat me, I'm the best ever, because you're going to get beat. You have to have that mindset, right? There are ties to this organization. Mike McCarthy was the head coach back when Alexander was first drafted by Green Bay. Joe Witt, same role, passing game coordinator. Scott McClurley was on his defensive assistant. Jeff Blasco on the offensive side was also on that Packers staff. Alexander in the end played in just 7 games this season due to a wide variety of suspension, injury issues, etc., etc. The numbers are not eye-popping, but when he's been on his game, this is one of the best corners in football. This is a very, very talented player. And what you could do is run it out there with Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, and Alexander at corner. You'd move on from Stephon Gilmore, say thank you for your services, move on from Jordan Lewis. Now all of a sudden you are loaded at corner. Alexander and Bland can play nickel as required, by the way. And that is the best cornerback room if healthy in football. Plus you give yourself some insurance with Trayvon Diggs coming off the injury. Of course, a trade probably wouldn't be cheap. We'll go more in depth on that here momentarily. But do you want Jaire Alexander on the Cowboys? Y for yes, N for no. It's the pinned comment. The ad comes here on YouTube. Take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. The real issue here, unless Green Bay went out after the salary cap or went after the guaranteed money, that was some of it was voided by the suspension, which I think is very unlikely. They actually lose money by trading him. They would lose $3.47 million in salary cap space. They do it after June 1st, save 15.6 in the process, but still eat, almost half of that the following season. It's not a great thing. Kind of like the Stephon Diggs conversation. Sure, it's a fun idea, but the cost for Green Bay from a money perspective is so negatively influential that they'd probably have to get way too much back in exchange via trade, unless they flat out cut him, which I actually would be pretty surprised by if they went that route. If they did go that route, just like Stephon Diggs, changes the entire conversation. So trade, probably not going to happen. Meanwhile, free agency. Devin White, listed by Bleacher Report, is one of the top expensive free agent targets for the Dallas Cowboys. I hate this idea. I think it is a terrible, horrible, no good solution for the Cowboys linebacker woes, which I will explain why here momentarily. First, today's show is made possible by Roan. Unlike Devin White, they're actually awesome. The mail closet was due for a radical reinvention, and Roan has stepped up to the challenge. The Commuter Collection is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible set of products known to man, And here is why. Roan gets you ready for any occasion with the commuter collection. Pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos like I am wearing today. You never have to worry about what to wear with Roan, whether it's at work, driving to and from work, Valentine's Day, dinner, drinks out, golf course, they've got you covered. So get the commuter collection and help them get you through any workday and straight into whatever comes next. Head to roan.com/chatsports and use promo code chatsports to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you go to RHONE.com/chatsports and use code chatsports. Find your corner office comfort with the link and promo code in the comments section and the description of today's show. First, here is the argument laid out from Bleacher Report. Targeting a sideline-to-side linebacker like Devin White of the Buccaneers would help address the linebacker issue immediately. White is coming off another strong campaign, one he finished with 83 tackles, 43 solo stops, 2.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. While White only appeared in 14 games this past season, he finished each of the previous 3 with more than 120 tackles. Premier off-ball linebackers like White and Baltimore Ravens linebacker Patrick Queen won't come cheaply, but they represent an extremely important commodity the Cowboys currently lack. So here's the thing about Devin White. He actually isn't good at football. Devin White has been the most overrated football player in years, ever since that awesome playoff run he went on. The raw numbers, we go, oh, that's pretty cool. Like 2020, he stuffed the stat sheet, right? 140 tackles, 18 TFLs, 9 sacks. The underlying play, though, was not nearly as impressive. And the numbers have regressed the past couple of years from a tackle perspective. And, Bleacher Report kind of didn't mention something like, hey, he only played 14 games. Do you know why? He got benched. Devin White got benched in the playoffs this year. He was not out there against the Lions because this coaching staff was like, yeah, KJ Britt's a better player. You talk about something like this team struggles with misdirection already. Devin White takes every single fake and follows it. There are coverage lapses galore. He can blitz. He is fast. That's kind of it. There were some effort red flags this year. One of the games he missed, he had been ruled as questionable. The Bucs said, hey, you're not going to start, but you'll play. And he said, no, I'm not playing. That's bad, despite being a team captain, mind you. The run defense is actually not very good. He overruns things consistently. He gets around the ball a lot because of his speed, but he's out of position far too frequently. Oh, by the way, he wants it to be the highest paid linebacker in football, something he said before he was drafted as well. Devin White is the most overrated player in the NFL. You want to sign him for the vet minimum? Sure. The linebacker issue does not get fixed. I'm not throwing money at the Buccaneers' number 3 linebacker come playoff time. It's not something I have interest in doing. I would, Levante David? Azeez Al-Shaair? Much cheaper? Every conversation. Patrick Queen? Break the bank on him? Sure. Devin White? No. I get he is a big name, was a former top 5 pick. The play, the film, the numbers have not backed that up at all. So would you sign Devin White? I still believe in democracy, though. S for sign, P for pass. Maybe you can fix him. Go vote for me in the comments section. We'll stick on defense here as Al Harris has been linked to the Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator job by The Athletic, one of the 10 defensive coordinator candidates. I will say, they did put Jim Caldwell on that list, and Jim Caldwell is an offensive coach. That was kind of weird, a big mistake there. But this is not the only spot that's going to eventually link Al Harris to Green Bay. He played there for so long, right? He was a brief Dolphins intern, Chiefs assistant defensive backs coach, and then actually had a year outside of coaching after that entire defensive staff got fired. Comes over to Dallas, and everyone loves him because the DBs make a bunch of plays. He's a good technique guy, and people know who Al Harris is. I get it. So do you want Al Harris as the Cowboys defensive coordinator? He'll be on the list if and when Dan Quinn ends up leaving for a potential head coaching job. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Sound off for me in the comments section right now. Is important to note that Joe Witt Jr. does outrank Al Harris. He is a higher and more involved member of the defensive schematic stuff and defensive coaching staff there. And I think this happens a lot with different players and coaches. The credit goes to the one we like, and the blame goes to the one we don't like. Not even saying that that's a Whit Harris situation, but if we're going to give all this praise to the Cowboys DBs making plays, shouldn't the secondary coach get some love there too, in Joe Whitt? And if we're going to be mad at them for busting coverages against the Packers, as we should be, shouldn't both guys get some blame as well? With that said, although I'm not interested that much in having Harris usurp Whitt as the DC, I do want to keep him on staff. I think that he's done a fine job so far for the Dallas Cowboys. I want change. Maybe wanted change is the better verb there. But I'm not just going to radically change everything on that side of the ball. Before we go, if you watched our short today, you saw this. There was this tweet that kind of went viral yesterday from NFC North News with 2 S's, saying Mike Evans going to free agency. The Bears are the favorites. The Cowboys are going to make a strong push for Evans. Here's the thing. This is not a real account. I do respect the game they play. They have a lot of good troll tweets out there. This is not a real, credible source tweet because, guys, free agency decisions don't get made in January anyway. Do not fall for it. That was not a real tweet. That's the same account that just likes to make up information, and there's a lot of good ones they've had, some bangers to be honest, but they're not. Said Caleb Williams going to demand a trade to the Vikings. No, that's not going to happen either. Don't fall for it. I kind of bet Mike Evans returns to Tampa in the end. If he hits free agency, we can have that conversation. I would bet good money he'll be back in Tampa. We will have plenty of free agency conversation as well, including tomorrow's live show on Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button right now.